Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Seftimor Daily. It is Monday, October 1st. We made it. Halloween's here. Seftimini's almost here. And it's my favorite month. I love October. I love everything about it. Which gets me into today. Today, I want to talk about me for a second. We have a quote here up on the screen. Every choice before you represents the universe, inviting you to remember who you are and what you want. By Alan Cohen. I wanted to talk today about the name Seftimor and what it is. So, as you guys probably know, if you follow me, in December of 2016, I decided I wanted to start making content. And I was scared about making content under my name because I didn't know if I wanted to be anonymous or I wanted people to know that I was doing it or if anyone would give a shit. So I started under an alias and then I switched it over to Seftimor. The reason being is that Seftimor represents to me a 13, 14, 15-year-old kid in his parents', basement. But I made that name when I first started playing EverQuest 1. It was my first made up name for this massive world that I would go into and play for years. But why I say that, I always want to remember, and I know people always laugh like, oh, you're in your mom's basement or whatever, like for gamers, but what I want to remember is that regardless of anything that happens, if I make it big one day or I get super successful one day, I never want to forget the little kid and what made him happy every single weekend was, we went to school and then I came home and I wasn't Joel anymore. I was Seftimor. And I did that all weekend, played EverQuest with my friends, and while also going out and all that. But like I said, a lot of people, a lot of motivational quotes you see out there say, find out or remember who you are. And I took that name to never forget who I am, to never forget that innocence, to never forget that just the world at my fingertips. You get older and everything gets super complicated. For Seftimor, when the character was created in that game, there was no care in the world except how am I gonna level my cleric this weekend. But it also just represents my youth and represents everything that I am and everything that started back then and up until now has created who I am. And I just never wanted to forget that no matter where I went, I'm always going to be that kid with big dreams. Regardless if I'm, in my 30s, 40s, 50s, whatever it is, always maintain that childhood dream, that childhood passion, that the world is at your fingertips, and a lot of times it won't feel that way. So I find it awesome now that when I go into a chat on Mixer or talk to people, they say Sefty, which no one ever did up until I started streaming again, which I just think is amazing because I love that name is out there. And it has people talking like, oh, have you heard the new Seftimor podcast? And that it's just taken from something that I created when I was a kid. But like I said, it helps me remember who I am regardless of where I'm going. And that's the lesson that I wanted to get across today. Have something, whether it be a picture or a quote or something that connects you to that kid that you were with the when time gets tough or you're adulting too hard. Remember that kid with the big dreams, and that nothing would stop you, no matter how old or how young you are. Just remember that. Remember, have something that's an anchor, so that every day you get reminded of who you are and what you represent. Carrying that name with me does that for me every day. Because if people look at me as Seftimor the blogger, Seftimor the mixer streamer, Seftimor the podcaster, whatever the hell, whatever other content I get into in the future, when I look at it, I saw a kid that was just discovering video games, just discovering the world, just discovering dreams and passions, and just discovering life, to where now some days are a lot tougher than others, and it's very, very, very easy to lose focus of that fun and playfulness in life. I remember it through the name that I carry every day. And with that, no matter where I go, I'll always remember being a young kid, creating that name, thinking it was the coolest name in the world, and what it represents and who I am. Thank you everyone for listening. If you're on YouTube, thank you so much for watching. I should be live tonight if you're seeing this on Monday with Resident Evil 7. So if you want to see a grown man get the shit scared out of him, that's where I'll be. Tuesdays I don't stream, but we will have a Seftimor Daily for you. So thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Please rate, review, share, subscribe, anything you can do. It's all free and it all helps the podcast. And most importantly, as always, please share this with someone that would find value from it. And always remember where you came from. No matter what thing you use as an anchor for that, I recommend it because it gets me through a lot. Have a good night, everybody. I'll talk to you again tomorrow.